Hi, I'm Anne of annskitchen.co.uk, and today I'm going to show you my absolute Christmas favorites. So my food on my blog is all about really simple, easy to do ahead dishes, so to say, and I use the oven quite a lot because I actually like to relax before my friends come for dinner. So today I'm going to make a really lovely chestnut meringue roulade, which is a twist on the classical bûche de Noël, a Christmas Yule log, which you have not so much here in the UK, but in France and in Luxembourg we always have that for Christmas dessert. Start by just whisking some of the egg whites, so you need to actually separate the white from the yolk. I always do like this. I know other people have other techniques. I like to throw the yolk around, give it a bit of a shake, and just chuck in there. We need 4 egg whites in total. So you need to beat the egg whites till they become kind of stiff. So once they start becoming quite stiffish, you can add 190 grams of caster sugar to them, but don't add it all in one go, just like gradually, because that will allow the meringue to absorb the sugar properly. Okay, I'd say this is some pretty nice meringue base, but we're going to add a tiny bit more to it just to make sure that it's going to all hold together nicely in the oven. What we're adding is 1 teaspoon of corn flour to bind it all. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of vinegar to it. Don't ask me why and don't be put off by it, but apparently it's going to kickstart some kind of chemical reaction. And then another teaspoon of one of my favorite ingredients, just 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, which is going to add a lovely vanilla flavor to it. That's it. Just beat that all in. I've put some baking paper onto it, and I've just put a tiny bit of oil onto it as well, so that it really doesn't stick, because you want to get it off smoothly in the end. Okay, so it's very simple. You just basically fold it out. Nice. That already looks like snow and Christmas, doesn't it? Gets me in the Christmas mood. So now just spread it evenly across the paper. And I think you're looking at getting a rectangular shape. And here we go. Beautiful little meringue base, which can go into the oven now. Let's put it into the oven. Needs to be at 200 degrees fan. And we're going to put it in for 10 minutes. And after those 10 minutes, we're going to lower the heat to 170 degrees and bake it for another 10 minutes. Okay, so let's start attacking the insides of this roulade. Starting with the almonds, what I'm going to add to it are caramelized almond pieces. What I'm going to do is just heat a frying pan on the stove and then add 100 grams of almonds to it. Okay, so once they've started taking on color, not too much, just add some sugar to it. So a couple of tablespoons is enough, just to coat them slightly. So what we're doing here is effectively we're creating a caramel. So you'll notice, wow, instantly the sugar starts to melt and to really, whoa, release some steam. So maybe take it off the heat for a second if you don't want to burn your caramel. And there's really nothing that can go wrong as long as you take the pan off the heat as soon as you notice it's going dark. Because like that, you're just stopping the process of it caramelizing. Now we can get onto my favorite layer, the mascarpone cream. So for that, I'm using 500 grams of really nicely fatty mascarpone, one of my favorites. But I'm going to add 175 grams of Greek yogurt to it. That's just to lighten it up a tiny bit. And then I'm adding 100 grams of icing sugar to it. Yay. And to make the whole thing even more indulgent, I'm using vanilla bean paste, 1 teaspoon. Tablespoon would be good, but a bit too much. Okay, so now we're just like mixing all of this together, just to make sure that you're not going to be drowning in a puff of sugar. And then we're just briefly mixing it all together. So we can go to our second filling now, which is the chestnut puree. It's basically chestnut puree to which I've added 100 grams of icing sugar and another teaspoon of vanilla bean paste or vanilla essence. Okay, and now we can go and turn over the meringue. So I'm just going to make a tiny bit of space here. Okay. And I'm going to use the second piece of baking paper. You need to be quite gentle with this, but actually it does hold together. And now we need to turn it around. Okay, and this is always the moment of truth where you'll see whether it holds together. Oh, and it comes off amazingly well. That oil has done its work well. Okay, so let's start by spreading the mascarpone cream onto the bottom 2/3 of the meringue and just, evenly layer it. And then we're going to add the chestnut puree. And this is to the lowest third, so just 1/3 of chestnut puree. Okay, we're again going to keep like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons to decorate the top of the meringue in the end. And now we can use some of our lovely almonds, like little snowflakes in the middle, because it adds a bit of crunch to a really soft roulade. Okay, just rub. And now we're ready to roll. And this rolling is actually one of my favorite parts because you can see it all come together. So what we're doing is we're holding the baking paper on one side, and then you can actually start rolling it. My God, this filling is huge. Okay, actually, let's go on. Don't be scared of it. And now actually I'm already taking a plate because once you've really rolled it, you don't really want to lift it again. So I'm taking a big serving plate. And I'll be lifting it. Wow, that's a heavy one. Onto here. And there we are. Voila! Ta-da! Okay, and now for the final decorations, we're going to take the mascarpone cream, the remaining one, and just spread it over gently in the middle. It's a bit like our snow layer. And now I'm going to put the chestnut puree into a piping bag. Okay, so now with my star-shaped nozzle, I can actually pipe some nice little pattern on it. So what shall I do? Let's do a little star-shaped nouns. Let's say 5 of them. Let's add a few of our little almond pieces to it. So just on top of each little mound, a few almonds. Wow. Et voilà, my bûche de Noël, my little chestnut meringue roulade for Christmas.